there's something that irritates me on a few mods, or not a few mods, on a few tip videos for new people, and it's about companions. So it all comes down to what are you going to use them for, right? You see a lot of people saying, "Oh, get a companion and make them your quartermaster, right? Or get a companion to get him to be a scout, or a companion to get him to be a surgeon, or you know." I got none. These skills all happen over time, and you don't really, unless you're going for specific goals of getting to the max of some skill. Yes, there are bonuses and advantages, but you don't need them in the hands of someone else. You're much better off doing steward by yourself, medicine by yourself, even engineering over time. If you do it, you get some points in social and intelligence, and it goes up. It's not been a priority on this game through, but you get what I'm saying. Dedicating exclusive companions to these skills is a waste, because down the line, what are you going to use them for? Mostly, I use companions as governors. You get fiefs, and number one, you need a governor of the same culture as the one you're taking to get the loyalty boost. Because when you actually go into the settlement, you can confer all the loyalty, and loyalty is one of the most important things to keep anything in this game. And number two, by having them walk around with you, they only level up the specific skill you're telling them to do: scouting, engineering, medicine, blacksmithing if you're doing blacksmithing with them, or steward if you put someone else as a quartermaster. So to me, it doesn't make sense. It makes much more sense, given that the companions, the biggest use they're going to get is being governors. They need bonuses, and this one, by accident, wasn't part of my training program, let's say, but it's much more useful to get them to be a head of a caravan, to lead a caravan, where they can level up other skills. Like, for instance, this woman has been, I'm in Vlandia, so I'm anticipating taking a castle or something in the Aserai. So she's Aserai. And she's been running a caravan since the beginning. It's trade 202. This includes quite a few bonuses to governing a city. But not only that, she levels steward. Not only that, if I put a point, she levels medicine when they occasionally get attacked, charm, leadership, tactics, scouting, riding, athletics. It's her own fighting skills. So she levels everything up. It makes no sense to keep them in your party on that specific skill towards the end game, because when you need them to become governors, they have no abilities. They have nothing meaningful to contribute as governors except the loyalty bonus. And I watched a video on tips recently where it said, oh, in the beginning, you want to get your team ready. You want to get your guys ready. So get your companions, get your scout, get your engineer, get your medicine guy, your surgeon, get your quartermaster, so they can help you and level up those skills and be a part of your army, later on forming parties of their own. But they're never going to level up the skills they need to have parties on their own or govern a settlement if all they're doing is, there's one guy that only does scouting, there's one guy that only does medicine, there's one guy that only does engineering, and they don't do anything else except fight and that skill. It's nonsensical, because at the end game you need them to have multiple skills, and this is across the board. This guy This is not a good example. He hasn't done trading. But this one has done trading. He has a lot more skills that he wouldn't have otherwise. Leadership, tactics, a little bit of scouting, charm, trade. And with trade comes bonuses to governor. Every villager party entering your town generates 30 gold income. If he gets a little bit forward, then he gets more. The governor increased tariff income by 10%, etc., etc., etc. So it makes no sense. This guy's at 69. He's developed steward. He's developed medicine. He's developed leadership, scouting, tactics, charm. He's got a little bit of everything, some maxed out because I didn't put any points in it, but you get the picture. Look, 57, 60, 60, 18, 18. They develop more. In terms of the end game, to have them, because they're going to be governors, you're going to take fiefs. And right now I have 5 of them. I did have 8, but I have 5 of them. I need them. I need them to get loyalty up. I need them to build stuff. I need them to do things. It makes no sense to have them in specific roles in your party while they don't train any of the skills they're going to need for the end game. It only makes sense to be in your team if you're not thinking to settle. Yeah, exactly. If you're only thinking in the early game, yes, it makes perfect sense having them in your party. But if you ignore the mid-late game, but if you're thinking about the mid to late game, it makes absolutely no sense to have them in your party. It makes absolute sense to have them in caravans, out in the world, doing trade, fighting on their own when they get attacked by something. You use the medicine, steward, they get all those bonuses up, all those skills up, even if you have to pay for the caravans and then they get destroyed and you make them again and they get destroyed and you make them again. It's an investment so that later on you can have governors with skills. Like, I don't even know. She didn't do trade. He did. He's got 57. He's got a lot of skills that he didn't have before. This guy also. Iron Belly. All of these guys, they're getting skills. This was someone I hired exclusively for governing. Just for the loyalty bonus. And he's not giving me anything else. But it's people that you're going to need near the end game, and the more skills you can give to them in the early and mid game, the better. It just doesn't make sense to have them in your party. Companions in the end game should be running their own castles, running their own cities, giving you that loyalty bonus and other bonuses. I just don't see it. I don't understand how you can recommend gathering them and getting them in your party to do that one specific job.